Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Okay, Dharma friends, we are going to start the Dharma talk on the topic, the role of loving kindness for happiness in daily life. I think that you had a good meditative experience because it's a perfect time to meditate. Having satisfied with some food and some rest to the body, you are in a perfect time of the day to meditate on any subject of meditation. So I believe that it's a good call for us to see how our mind and body works. So that's what Buddha did. That's what Arahants and noble disciples did during the midday of the day. If you know the history of Buddhism, the sutta always records that Buddha and those noble people, after lunch, stayed in seclusion under a tree or a monastery, paying their total attention to physical and mental behavior. So that's why I'm saying that this is a good moment to meditate. The meditation we did first is a kind of preparatory meditation for all kind of meditation. You scan the body with loving thoughts, compassionate thoughts, and that allows us to build a kind of momentum to go into various directions. I would like to explain it another way, that kind of preparation creates a kind of awareness in us to see the body as it is, and the mind as it is. So with that, I believe you meditated on loving kindness. Do you remember the story of young monk Rahula, the son of the Buddha? Right? So he was asking how to meditate on in and out breathing to have the maximum results of that meditation. Buddha did not go to explain the in and out breathing meditation immediately, but he explained the meditation on in and out breathing in a very specific way. He says to young Rahula to practice meditation on different meditations, such as meditation on loving kindness, meditation on compassion, meditation on 4 elements. So that's the method we follow today. We just calm down the body through scanning and try to feel the body as it is and develop loving kindness. Then turn the meditative subject slowly to breathing, and through the breath we try to analyze the body as elements, as collection of various parts, physical and mental. At the end, though we do not complete the realization or not, at the end we come to a conclusion that there is only 3 things happening in the body and mind. That is the impermanence, changing or alterations, and unsatisfactoriness. It's not the negative feelings, unpleasant feelings we talk about in general truth. It is the reality. If everything change from moment to moment, we cannot get it as happy and peaceful. And we do not get that unpleasant as well. But we know that it's change and it is something to be away. That's the basic theory of unsatisfactoriness. In other way, if they are changing, if body and mind change from moment to moment, attachment to these changing phenomena bring us suffering. So it is better to leave them away, and that's the understanding of unsatisfactoriness. So finally, the conclusion is made as there is no self, there is no permanent entity, because things change. If everything changes in the body and mind, how can we take something permanent? Do you realize where the Buddha takes us and what he asks us to do? He teaches us to realize where we caught up, where we bound with, and we have the notion of self, and we satisfied by seeing pictures, by hearing, by tasting, and so on. He wants to see this reality through this investigation and cut that constant flow to attachment, to craving, to greed, to ignorance. And this is how he asks us to do it. Because you calm down your mind, and then your mind is settled into a level where you can see this stream of attachment, craving, greed, and then you are very strong to break it. Yes.
What if you have like a serious health problem?
Of course, it's difficult to do this investigation then, because your mind is always bother with the pain, physical pain. If you have a serious illness, 99% of people are unable to go into such a deeper level, because this kind of realization should come with the perfect concentration. So how do people develop concentration when there is a deep pain, unpleasant feelings in the body? Oh yes, that's why I say that 99%. 1% people, 1% of the population who are wise and enough, who have enough experience on this particular meditation, can take it as an advantage and meditate on it and bring that concentration and see through that this is impermanent and so on. So they can do what has to be done. So the role of loving kindness for happiness in daily life start from somewhere like this. Loving kindness is beautiful, right? When you hear that word, aren't you happy and joyous? Yes, it's beautiful to hear. That very word brings us into a super state, according to my experience. So, role of loving kindness is not something else, but keep us on mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Let's talk about the opposite of loving kindness. Let's talk about the difference between loving kindness and love in order to understand the concept. Because the loving kindness has been explained in different ways as people understand it. In the East, love is not used for loving kindness. That the entity of our mind where we experience when we cross the border of self. We call it loving kindness, but there, it is not used for day-to-day relationship. We use the love, Love. Sorry about my pronunciation. Uh, that's the word that we use for understanding good relationship. You know, but it is not used for the spiritual essence we call loving kindness. Why? But it is used, both words are used interchangeably in the Western world. Love is okay to denote loving kindness here. But let's look at the content of behind those two words, whether it is same or the different one. When we take love, Love, we usually use it for some good relationship between parents and children, husband and wife, grandparent, grandchildren, or any relationship which is agreeable and doable, pleasant. I love him. We love them. I love it, and so on. That means you like it. What is underlying tendency of this love, lightness, and pleasantness is similarity or attachment, isn't it? And that love is always conditioned. For example, you like somebody or you love somebody, and how do you show it? By talking with beautiful words and helping and doing so many things. Is that love exist when the other party is not cooperating? For example, you spend your time and space for that particular person's happiness and peaceful living, but that particular person is not reacting accordingly. Do you still keep that love? No, it's the behavior you had is going to change because of the reaction from the other party. We call it love, and it is conditioned. If this person talk to me in the same way, if this person dedicate his or her time in the same way, I keep this behavior in me towards him. So you condition. Unless these conditions meet, you don't keep that relationship. That is what is called love. It is always conditional. But loving kindness is unconditional. It should not be based on conditions, reasons. Look at the relationship between parents and children. I don't say that each parents and children have this particular PO loving kindness, but it is the most fundamental analogy, simile that we can take from the present world, mundane world, to show what loving kindness is. Parents earn money, dedicate their time for children, and do all kind of things. And they are seeking happiness of children, happiness of loved ones. At some point, children do not understand this and try to live with their own ideologies, with their own perceptions, putting parents' ideas aside, and they do not take care of them. At this moment, if parents are not unhappy, distressed, restless, saying that it's okay, we did our duty to our children and we are okay, we did not expecting anything return, and we know what is life, and if children feel in that way, it's up to them. So that is unconditional nature. Can we have this in our daily life? Can we still love others unconditionally? If you can, it's okay to use love. Otherwise, the metta, loving kindness, is always should be unconditional. So, yes.
How can you have compassion, loving kindness for, say, somebody like Trump?
Still we can have, because he's a, no matter what he says, no matter what he's saying, at the end he is a human being. And no matter what he does now, he is subject to old age and dying. Right? And what is and we can ask the questions. What is the use of creating so much anger in us on Trump of what he is saying? Because he is not he's unaffected by our anger, right? He's unaffected by our heat. He doesn't feel it. Even if we stand in front of him and become angry, there will be some reactions, but it doesn't change anything. So we can ask that questions to justify the loving thought for him. And because I will address this fact later on, that loving kindness is always developed with wisdom, mindfulness, concentration. So when loving kindness is geared by these mainly three qualities, love, concentration, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom, your mind is broader enough to love even to an enemy. In the sense of that he is dying, and in the sense of that he is subject to illness, and of course you realize that this person is unhealthy psychologically, so he is deserved to have our love and compassion. He's in bad. No, I'm not talking about the particular Trump, using he now. Anyone who is angry, anyone who is upset, anyone who is furious, jealous, are imbalanced, psychologically derailed. So Buddha, take the Buddha as the example. He just extends friendly thoughts. No matter what kind of results come in, maybe the best results come later on, so still he loves. Still he extends friendliness. It may be difficult for us to do, but it is the best solution. There are better solutions and good solutions as well. The best solution is cultivating direct loving kindness, no matter how hard it is. May he be well. May he use good words. May he talks directly. May he talks to the point. May he, speak truth, and so on. Just keep some energy in you and radiate it to the particular person as much as possible. At the end, your hope will not work, but at least you have kind of peace in you. So love always has something negative on the other side. In the later commentaries, people talk about near enemy and far enemy of loving kindness. So loving kindness, metta, is really good, right? You understand it from the discourse of Karunimitta, discourse on loving kindness, and through constant practices in your daily life, you know how loving kindness is, how beautiful it is, how influential it is to be happy. But there are things to consider on the other side of loving kindness. In order to understand and strengthen loving kindness, there are two enemies of loving kindness. What is the first one? Near enemy. Of course, let's say far enemy is the first one and the near enemy is the second one. What is the far enemy of loving kindness? And what is the near enemy of loving kindness? You may have heard it. What is the far enemy of loving kindness? Hatred. Yes, ill will. It's easy to decide. The direct opposite of loving kindness is the far enemy. It is hatred and ill will. It's easy to deal with because you know you can differentiate them. What is the near enemy? Pity. Let me think on these two words, pity and indifference. They have relationships to the near enemy, but pity is the near enemy of compassion. And indifference is quite close, like pity, but there is a particular word. The near enemy of loving kindness is romantic love, which technically called attachment. Let's see how these two enemies and what they do to our loving kindness. So let's take, it is easy to decide who and what far enemy is. And it is very difficult to identify the near enemy because it's near and disguised as a friend. In general truth, it is difficult to identify opponents who lives together because they are supporting us, they are living with us, and we don't pay attention. We don't go into details of this and that. Therefore, they can hide it. So let's take an example. We like people. We like objects. We like furniture. We like houses and so on. That's the normal condition of human life. People used to say that we have loving kindness to husband, wife, children, and so on. What happens if, as we discussed, conditions change? We become mad. If you are not putting the chairs on the right place after meditation, and I may get mad at. I don't do it, but it is a possibility. If I get upset, so my connections with you based on until you keep things in a perfect place. If not, if the condition from you are not met, I'm going to upset. So that love and kindness or whatever is conditions. We discussed this. So, but however, we like you. We have a good relationship. We used to say that. That's attachment. That's based on some conditions. It's difficult to judge. Let me take another examples. You are attracted to a beautiful person based on the color of the hair and the length of the hair and the color of the skin and the way this person wear clothes and so many ways are there for him to like this particular person. So whatever this person, the person says is accepted by this person because of these external, internal conditions. And he or she can think that I extend friendliness. I am friendly with this person. He is a friend of mine. Yeah, in a general sense, it's okay. But in spiritual sense, it's not loving kindness, it's attachment usually. That's why Buddha in the perfect loving kindness meditation, do not address those personal type of meditation. Look at the Karanimita Sutta, the discourse of loving kindness. It doesn't say that you develop loving kindness starting from you and extend it to next person, a mother, father, husband and wife, so on. Because it has a leak, it has hole in it, that you develop attachment. Why? Because suppose that you extend loving kindness to your husband or wife or any good close person. Instead of seeing his or her impermanence of the body and mind, you may appreciate the beauty of the skin, beauty of the body, beauty of words and so on. You go around those changing phenomena and appreciate them instead of seeing the reality. Because loving kindness is always developed by seeing the impermanence as it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because loving kindness always based on right mindfulness, right concentration, and right wisdom. If not, it can be attachment. It can be from something romantic. It can be something unwholesome. That's why we start loving kindness meditation technically from understanding our bodily sensation feeling. It's not the perfect, we are not in the perfect meditation yet, but it's a good start. So you slowly bring your attention to the feeling sensation, and at some point you settle your mind, try to see the reality of the feeling sensation. It's changed. If feeling and sensation change, the body, those feeling and sensation produce also change. And if the breath is not the same thing, happen always, how about this body and the mind as well? So every phenomena in the body change from moment to moment. So that's me, that's I. It's okay to use those conventional words, I, me and myself, with that wisdom. Then there's a loving kindness is arising, because you see that this body still belongs to, from mundane sense, you, but it has the subject of impermanence, suffering, and so on. Then this is loving kindness arising, because that is an energy. You need to go forward. So in loving kindness discourses, Buddha did not say, you consider first and look at others. He says something like this in the paper. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright. So he started in such a way that you need to develop some moral principle. Be a skillful person to understand your body and mind. That means you develop samadhi, right understanding. Be a skillful person in order to be a peaceful person. Let them be able and upright. Be an able person to realize what this body and what this mind is. Upright. When you are an able person in that sense, your living, your mind becomes straight. It means you are not just like the stick on the mud, but you are just like a force, strongly built on the ground and not shaken by the wind, not shaken by anything like that. So Buddha continues on the same way, that you need to develop that skill, this skill, namely gentleness in speech, humbleness, and those qualities. Develop these qualities. At some point, you are ready to radiate that energy in the name of loving kindness to others. That's the place where you focus others. Let me repeat it. In order to develop loving kindness exactly the way the Buddha said, we need to make us ready with some powerful qualities. What are those qualities? Right understanding, right mindfulness, and perfect yourself on sila, day-to-day good principles, and develop some sort of perception that you should become calm and peaceful because of this reason, that reason, and our relationships are always changing, and individuals and relationship and things around change. So you make ready yourself with some sort of powerful energies, and at some point you think that, like me, in this kind of wisdom, may the other living beings be well, happy and peaceful. There is no chance of your mind now, with this wisdom, to make anything unpleasant to somebody else, because you are in total peace, you are in rest. You have enormous experience how beautiful, how compassionate you are when you are really happy. If somebody come and suggest you to beat a person, hit a person so hard, you don't do it. You do not even think about it because you are so and you are so happy. But how about if you are angry and somebody is coming and saying you that your enemy, the person you are get angry, is really bad, let's go and do something. You may at least say yes, because your mind is with bad qualities. I don't say that you have that, but whenever you are angry, you are inclined to do something negative. But when you are inclined to positive qualities like loving kindness, you feel so repulsive with anything negative. So that's why Buddha says develop positive qualities first, like right understanding, right livelihood, and speak good words, be gentle, be humble. Then you are okay to go into deeper of loving kindness and do something, do some impact to the society. The role of loving kindness for happiness is crucial. If loving kindness is really practicing, it's not difficult for us to have very strong relationship between people. Take a family life. Take the family life, because this should be very practical. A lot of people wake up in the morning saying that, oh, I have so many things to do. Wake up, hurry up, and get ready to go to work. Or if I did not do this last night, how can I make it? And so many complaints and so many unrestful speeches, phrases are going on early in the morning, right? We are self-centered. We always try to say that I do this and I do that, and why can't you do this like me? So this kind of things going on if a family life is not centered on loving kindness. So how about if you are a wife, if you are a husband, if you are a mother, if you are son or daughter to parents. Okay, cooking for my family is really good for me because it's a chance for me to pay my respect and gratitude to my husband and wife and children. It's wonderful. It's a good opportunity for me to practice loving kindness. Take that as an action of love and loving kindness. And if you have to do typical things like that, take the thought of loving kindness into consideration and do it. That's how you play loving kindness in daily life for happiness. And suppose that you study in a school and you keep your own things properly and you get ready yourself and think in this way that I do this because my mother and my father do a lot for me and they have dedicated their life for me. So how could I help them? Okay, I have these things to do. I keep my clothes nice and neat and I clean the room. I do not have time to do anything else for my parents, but I keep myself in such a beautiful way. And when you eat food that your mom and dad cook, you pay a kind of gratitude in your mind, how nice they are. So, loving kindness is not something physical, it's a mental state that you develop through understanding. Right? And of course, without the application of compassion, loving kindness is not coming 100%, but they all work together. So, compassion is there as well. So, the meditators who meditate on this particular spiritual fact is okay on the cushion. But it's challenging when they go home and live with family members who may not be meditating in the same level. It is challenging when you go to the society. It is challenging when you work with somebody who is not doing the same thing. So how do you apply that strength of loving kindness to daily life to make your life perfect? Not perfect, but at least to sustain on peace and happiness. Your words should be based on loving kindness. How do we do that? This person has this nature. That person has dedicated his or her time some time ago. So take that. And I am a human being, no matter who and who they are and what they did. I am a human being who based on these human qualities. So you investigate during talking, during working, and so on. So the role of loving kindness in daily life is really, really important for success of this life as well as gaining freedom from suffering. That's why Buddha said that the base on Kalyana Mitra or the spiritual friendship is loving kindness, and the whole sasana can based on loving kindness. That is one of the base of the dispensation of the Buddha. So Buddha repeatedly say that monks should be mutually compassionate and kind. That's geared for you to practice meditation, for seeing the truth as it is. There are so many things to add this particular fact, loving kindness, but understand how loving kindness is being practiced for happiness in daily life. A lot of meditators, I would say, a lot of meditators are okay and peaceful during meditation sessions, but they are not doing well in daily life. That is because of lack of understanding about what they are doing. It is something like this. People go to hospital and see doctors for different uh, physical issues and take medicine either by staying in hospital or at home. Once they feel that we are okay from this disease, they do not take care of physical health. They are unmindful about the ways that the same illness come in. After some time, they experience the same thing. Similarly, people find meditations and places for meditation, get spiritual support counseling when only they are in big trouble. But they are unmindful to apply some sort of method of living to be away from the causes of suffering, causes of issues, problems. I guarantee from the Buddha's teaching that loving kindness practice keep you away from those causes of suffering. Before it comes as a medicine to cure you from illnesses, psychological issues, it comes as a precautions to alleviate the causes of suffering, which is good. Suppose you tell me what you like most. There is a fire and you are going to burn your hand or your body. So, and say that there are enough medicines to cure you from burning. And do you like, because now you have an idea that even though I burn myself, even though I burn from this fire, there are enough medicines to recover. So then do you say it is okay to burn? Or do you like most to prevent that fire completely and be away from it? So everybody knows that prevention of that fire is the best. And we should try to prevent the fires inside. Those are negative emotions, opponents of loving kindness. What are they? Anger, ill will, hatred, and so on. And if not, they come and appear in your mind, in your life, and we must be skillful enough to realize them as they are and do away with it. Do away with them and dispel them. So the role of loving kindness for happiness in daily life is something like this. Time doesn't allow me to extend further into various levels of loving kindness, but believe me that Buddha has elaborated the topic into various sections. It's one of the central meditation in Buddhism to go into vipassana, and loving kindness has both ends, samatha and vipassana. When we develop loving kindness from samatha point of view, we can take I be well, happy and peaceful. May others be well, happy and peaceful. When we take from the vipassana point of view, we leave the word I, me, myself there. Just consider or identify them as beings or as bodies, as living entities, and see the impermanence directly of these beings. So loving kindness is therefore the key for happiness, and it is mostly common meditation, standing with anapanasati. So try to find a pace of it to be able to practice in daily life. Let me take 1 minute to tell it. As I always say, take these 2 moments of your daily life to fill your mind with loving thoughts. The first one is uh, immediately after you wake up. Being on the bed, take few minutes of contemplation that may I be well, happy and peaceful. I am alive for today. I'm still living. So may I be well, and my husband, my children, grandchildren. So take couple of minutes to extend your mind unconditionally over relatives, family members, or living beings. Take 5 minutes. Refresh yourself. Body is of course refreshed, and this is for mental refreshment. Then you have done your duties during the day. No matter what you did, may be pleasant, unpleasant, useful, useless, and so many things can happen during the day. Take 5 minutes of your before sleep and investigate what I did, what I didn't do, what good things I did, what bad things happened from me, how was my speech, how was my actions. So have this investigation, and right after that, develop loving kindness for those who did bad things for you, and if you did something wrong, ask forgiveness and develop loving thoughts for you and others, and sleep with it. Use these 2 moments of your daily life for happiness, and that's the way you apply the role of loving kindness in daily life. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you continue to practice on loving kindness. May you be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If you have any questions, you can ask these questions right now or later on. It's up to you. Yes.
I used to, when I see a friend, they said, "Oh, how are you? You look good today," or something like this. But now I try not to say that anymore. So before.
What do you say now?
I don't say anything. I just say, yeah, that's why my question is, do I feel like left out from society? Because before I said, "Oh, good, you look younger, you look good, everything there." So I said, "Oh, I'm very happy with that. I just have a vacation, something that the conversation go. But now I said hello and that's it."
Yeah, I think it's okay to say you are good and you're pleasant. Don't tell lies that you are young and so, because if people are old, and we cannot say that, we cannot confirm that you are young, but say I'm very pleased to see you, and it's a blessing to see, because that doesn't harm anybody, right? Because seeing even a bad, ugly person give you a chance of seeing the reality, right? So every living being, every object of today's world bring us kind of ways to see the truth. So by seeing you, I am so happy, because you are such a good person. Even though he's a really bad person, you make him, his side is good for you to see the truth.
I try not to lie because some people are very, very weak.
Yes. Okay, I remember to recite the discourse, but but I mindfully and intentionally leave it out because it's being taught and no need to recite. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, see you next time.
Penetrate rock. Yeah. Gentle is strong.